Good evening, and welcome to a segment of LGBTQ Red Carpet. I'm your hostess, BeBe Sweetbriar, and I am here at the W Hotel in San Francisco to celebrate the 2013 Gay Pride celebration at the Media Party. With me, I have somebody that really needs no introduction whatsoever. He's been a long-time activist for gay rights across the country, and I'm sure it's spilled over across the world for the things that he has been trying to fight for. I have Cleve Jones with me. How you doing, Cleve?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay. I know you love all these types of things. You've been to many of these. I'm sure it's great to see all of this together.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a great weekend coming up, and it's been a wonderful week, and I'm just so grateful for the privilege of being here to see it happen.
Exactly. I mean, and I know you've been fighting with this whole marriage equality that's been going on for quite some time, but in particular for the last 5 years here in San Francisco, and we got the decision that we wanted. What are your thoughts about the decision with striking down Prop 8 and DOMA?
Well, of course, I'm elated, and it's kind of what I was expecting. But I do think it will have a domino effect. I think when you look at the language in the decision on DOMA in particular, it's going to open the door for, I think, a tidal wave of litigation in states all across the country. And I know that Chad Griffin, from the head of the Human Rights Campaign and a good friend of mine and the guy who started the American Foundation for Equal Rights that brought the lawsuit, feels that it is attainable within 5 years to have full marriage equality in all 50 states. But of course, that's not the end of our struggle. And we still have many jurisdictions across the country, a majority of states, where people can be fired simply on the basis of their sexual orientation or gender identity. We have our young people committing suicide in appalling numbers. We have transgender people who fear for their safety every single day of their lives, who are desperate, facing desperate unemployment statistics. So we have a lot of work ahead of us, but clearly yesterday was an amazing milestone in our long struggle.
Yes, that was just wonderful. And you were definitely a part of the campaigns that Harvey Milk ran for his different public offices, that he ran for, and eventually becoming our supervisor here in San Francisco. What do you think his thoughts would have been if he were here?
I've been thinking so much about him the last few days, of course. He was such a delightful man, and he was very, very kind to me. I got to the city in 1972 when I was just 17. I was a street kid in the Tenderloin, and Harvey mentored me and believed in me and took me with him to City Hall as an intern. But it's also kind of funny because I'm old school. I joined the Gay Liberation Front, and if you had told me in 1973 that in the year 2013 I'd be fighting for the right to get married and join the army, I might have tried dating women. That was just not what we were about. We were a radical liberation movement, and we wanted to smash the patriarchy and end war forever.
Right.
Now, I'm older now, but I do hope that people, as we celebrate this really magnificent victory, I think it's important for people to remember that a movement that fights only for its own, only for the narrow interest of its own members, is a shallow movement. And Harvey and those of us who were active in the 70s always saw what we were doing as part of a larger movement for peace and for social justice for all people across the planet. And now that we're winning, I hope that we can be gracious and that we can show solidarity and reach out and support other struggles.
Yeah, because what's that old saying? If you deny one, there's no freedom for all.
Exactly. None of us are free unless all of us are free.
Well, thank you for spending some time with me, Cleve.
My pleasure.
I know that you're going to be really busy while you go back in there, so have a good evening, okay?
You too.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.